so finished with what other people would think of me. And I was just like, I just couldn't care less. And I remember a lot of people were, what is Koen doing with these videos? Why isn't he just working? I thought he had a job.
Welcome to the Uncommon Conversation. In a world obsessed with image and performance, this space is different. We are here to explore the real man behind the mask. Today's guest is living proof that you don't have to follow the traditional path to live a powerful life. Koen, known to many of you guys as the Dutch goalkeeper, went from an office job and uncertainty to building a global community of over 7 million followers across all platforms, inspiring the next generation of footballers. He signed a pro contract, worked with top brands, and built a life many admire. But today, we're not just talking about the success. We're here to meet the man behind the mask, to explore the moments that shaped him and how he's created the uncommon life. Welcome, my friend.
Thank you.
It's great to have you on, and it's really great to explore the man behind the fame in much more depth. So I've got one question to start off. When we discussed the uncommon life, what springs to mind to you instantly?
It's a great question. Several things. I think the uncommon life is something that not everyone chooses to do, not the regular route. Being in an uncomfortable place and being comfortable with being uncomfortable. That's what I think I would define as the uncommon life.
Nice. And that's exactly where we're going to go today. So deep diving, people see you as the Dutch goalkeeper, and it's almost become an identity or a known version of you that only people see online. But where that started is way back, and from you were born and you then had your childhood. Explain a bit of your childhood to me.
I had a great childhood. I've always been very close with my parents. We've moved abroad quite a lot. So obviously I was born in Netherlands. My father, he worked for Shell for quite a lot of his life. So we moved around a lot. We lived in Syria, we lived in Oman. Then from Netherlands, eventually we lived there for my first couple of years. We moved to Scotland, lived in Aberdeen for 6.5 years. Then we moved to the US, Houston, Texas, lived there for 3 years. Then we moved back to Netherlands, and then I eventually finished my high school, did my bachelor's degree, started working a full-time job. Eventually now we're in Dubai. So that's a really, really quick recap.
Wow. And how did you find moving so much? Because so many people rely on stability and that comfort, but you were put out of that quite a lot. How did you feel with that?
I think because I never knew any better. From a very young age, we always moved around, and it's just how it was. And we were always in a very good situation because obviously my father, as he worked for Shell, they provided us with housing, they provided us with a good community. My mum took really good care of us, and I was together with my sister, which helped a lot as well. We were always in a great environment. So it was never weird for us to be moving around. We were always around other expat families and other kids that were also in the same situation as we were. So I think it was great. It's enabled me to be very flexible in, being in different environments, which is really great, and I'm very thankful for. And also my English is great, which has really helped.
Yeah, absolutely. And so originally from Netherlands, how long was it until you left? When was the first time you left and moved away from there?
I think I was 6 months old. Then I think we went to Syria, and then we lived there for a year, not even, and then we went back to Netherlands. But when the first time I actually remember leaving the Netherlands was when I think it was 7 or 8 years old, and we moved to the US first. Yeah, I think I had it wrong the first time I said it, but we moved to the US first.
That's so interesting. Like what the comment you've just said is that you never knew. So imagine if you stayed in one place, and so many people do, they stay in one place for so long, and that just becomes, this is life. So they become so rigid and not necessarily stuck, but so, right, this is my location, I'm not going to move. How do you think that affects people growing up?
Oh, massive. I think there's a lot of people that get stuck in their, that just get comfortable in their own hometown, in the environment they're in, and they don't know what else the world has to offer. And I've had the opportunity, obviously, to see more of the world growing up, and to see in different environments and different cultures, and experiencing life beyond my hometown. And that mainly has impacted me now, because obviously currently we're living in Dubai.
Absolutely.
Which is amazing. And I think a lot of people don't know that there's so much more that the world has to offer. It's such a shame. And they get comfortable in the place that they're in. And as I said, it's a shame because there's so much more to see.
Yeah. It's a safe space. And what would you say to someone who's questioning leaving? What would you say to someone now who feels in that exact position? Who do it?
Do it now, because we talked about this before. Me and my wife Yana and my son Luca, we moved out here to Dubai, which was quite a big decision to make. Obviously, we're a young family. We have a comfortable life in Netherlands. We have a house, and we've renovated that house. We've built a real life in Netherlands, and then to move away from that, as we've kind of just set everything up in Netherlands, was a difficult decision to make. But we kind of kept landing on the same thing, and that was we can always go back. We can always go back to our life here in Netherlands and just continue doing what we're doing. Obviously, not everyone is in the situation or in the space to be able to do that, but I think to a certain extent, a lot of people are.
Yeah.
So if you have a choice or if you have an opportunity to go somewhere else and experience new things, and then you always have something to fall back on, or a place that you can always go back to, or a job that you can fall back on. I mean, everyone can do any type of job, right?
100%.
Anyone can wash the dishes, or there's always something you can rely on. But if you don't take a step into something that you've never done, you'll never know, and I think you'll always regret it.
Yeah, 100%. And that's interesting. Like, the ego can take over and go, oh no, because I want to come back to this job, but you can always come back to anything that you want if you need to revert.
Yeah.
And that's interesting. You don't know what you don't know.
Exactly. And you'll never know what it was like if you hadn't taken the choice. And I think if we were to have taken the choice to stay in Netherlands and do what we were doing and just be comfortable in our life there, which would have been great as well, would have been just fine. But I would have always thought, what if we did go to Dubai?
100%. And that's a big thing. I think a lot of people, as they get older, feel, oh, what if I had of? But then they still stay stuck, and they just continue to stay in that stuck, and then it becomes more of what ifs rather than, you know what, whether you're 20, 30, 50, you know what, I'm going to do it, because this life is for experiencing as much as possible, and you will learn and evolve on the way.
I think you will always live with what ifs. I still have what ifs. Like, for example, my YouTube career, I always thought, what if I started YouTube earlier? What if I started YouTube before I went to uni, before I started studying? Then I would have had 10 million followers now, or I would have been so much more successful, so many more videos made. But there's no point in looking back.
Yeah, you can have a moment, but the power you've got is, and we've discussed this before, is you can catch that moment so you don't give it a lot of energy.
Yeah.
You have a thought, okay, but move forward. So many people live in that thought and go, what if, oh, my life could have been so different, and stick in that victim of, oh, but I should have. You haven't, so now what? How are you going to move forward and change your life?
It's a horrible thought, and I think, especially in the industry of being a content creator, it's tough.
Yeah, and even saying that though, let's revisit that. You have thoughts of what if, but then if you had have launched the video earlier, then that could have led to a different conversation, which then would have not led to meeting Yana and having Luca.
Exactly.
Everything, I believe, aligns in the path that you're meant to take. Mm-hmm. And going back to, obviously, you did a lot of traveling. You probably, or you will have made a lot of friends and a lot of different communities.
Yeah.
Where did the football start, or what was your first passion? Was it football?
It was football. My dad played football as well. He was a goalkeeper back in the day. So I remember when I was quite young, I was able to go see him play for a few matches, which was awesome. And that's something as well I hope to give to Luca.
Nice.
So I need to keep playing for another couple of years at least.
Goalkeepers have got a good shelf life.
Yeah, that's what they say. Man.
Yeah.
Currently not looking like it. But yeah, football, definitely. My dad played football, and I got into football at a very young age. I was a striker to start off. And as we moved to the US, I was a striker there as well. Funny story, because in the US, it's a bit different. So obviously you play soccer, and the first club my dad signed me up for was, it was called Fun, Fair, Positive Soccer.
All right, good.
FFPS, and I'll always remember this. And I was a striker, and I was pretty good back in the day. I say back in the day, it's quite a few years ago.
You've had a stint as striker this year, but we'll come back to that.
Yes, we will. So I was good at football. I wasn't amazing, but I was decent. And the club I was playing for, the level wasn't great. Obviously, it was fun, fair, positive soccer. So it was all about the experience, and everyone was happy, and there was participation trophies, and it was all about the kids having fun, and obviously, which it should be. It's a bit different in the US than it is in England and Netherlands, where it's more performance based.
Very.
All about being happy, which is great. But we were playing these games, and every single game, I would score at least 3 goals, at least. And at certain points, the coach said to me, "You're not allowed to score anymore. You scored 3 goals. Now you're either coming off the pitch or you just can't score anymore." And that was my first experience of playing soccer in the US. Then I moved to a different soccer club, which was the West Houston Soccer Club, which was a more performance-based club, and I was a striker there as well. Then we moved to Scotland, and I played for Cooter Boys Club. And that's when I actually turned into a goalkeeper, basically. One of our goalkeeper at the time got injured, and my dad basically said, well, Koen can do it, put him in. kind
Okay.
of pushed me in there, and I had no previous experience, but I did all right.
I'm a keeper. Go on, son.
Yeah, exactly.
Fulfill my goal.
Yeah. So I did that, and I actually really enjoyed it. And from that moment on,
You enjoyed getting balls twatted at you for a living.
Yeah.
That was nice, yeah?
that was just good fun. I made a couple of saves, and it was just
Absolutely not.
I don't know, for some reason, and it's always stayed the same. The feeling of making a save is better than scoring a goal.
Okay. And that's in, so did that like reaffirm to you, this is my calling?
Yes.
Because a save is better than scoring?
Yes.
Because so many kids want to score, but you want it to save.
I don't. It's very I can't really put it into words, but obviously when you score a goal, the crowd goes wild, and people will, everyone's cheering on that. When you make a save, it's not really like that.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I don't know.
You've said this though, we've had conversations, you're like, you know what, I don't actually like the limelight. I like sitting and just doing my thing, not getting praised or not. So scoring goals is constant praise. Well done, oh, Koen, the best. But a strike, even as a defender, a clean sheet is not really rewarded.
No.
But then as a keeper, it's, good save, that's your job. As a striker, you're the best person ever.
Do you know, for some reason, one of the best things about it as well is the look on the striker's face when he thinks he's going in and it doesn't. And then, oh man.
When you pull an absolute worldie off.
Exactly, yeah.
So, but that's interesting. Do you think that the wiring from the coach saying you can't score any more goals to then he's not going to say to you, you can't make any more saves? You know what I mean?
Essentially, yeah, but
Deeper down, that's me going a bit deeper, but
I think so.
straight away,
I think it was more my dad just saying, "Get in the goal, son."
Yeah.
And me enjoying that process as well. And from then on, my dad really supported the entire journey. He loved it. He was at every training session he could. He was at every single game.
Wow.
And I remember, especially in Scotland, it was horrible. I mean, we're loving life here in Dubai. The weather's great, but in Scotland, I remember we played at the seaside, and it was hail and it was snowing, and they would never cancel the games.
No, we've had many games like that.
And I remember just being stood in the goal. And it was hailing down. There was snow on the pitch. It was freezing. I was just stood shaking in the goal. But yeah, my dad was still there on the sideline, just doing the warm-ups with me, helping me out.
Did that probably bring you closer to your dad when you went in goal?
100%.
Did it?
Yeah.
Did he support you as much as a striker or more when you went in goal?
Both.
Was it?
Regardless.
So it was still the same support? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And we did private sessions. My dad gave me all the right tools and everything that he could to follow that dream I had. Of, from a young age, performing at a good level.
Was the dream from an early age just, I love football, I want to be a professional footballer, rather than specifically a goalkeeper? It was more so I just love football. Until you went into goal, you're like, wow, okay, now it's be a goalkeeper.
Yeah, I think so. It was more just at that age, especially just loving the game, not really having that vision of becoming a professional. Always, of course, the dream was always there, but I just really loved being in the net and just going to training
and having a ball.
And just the love of the game.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that allows you to, I think kids as they evolve, especially with social media now, social media is such a powerful, and I believe it to be a very constructive place, but if you follow the right people, you consume the right content. Whereas I even see now players who can't kick a ball, but they can do step overs. I'm like, what is happening to the game? But follow the basics first, get the basics done, and then you can start learning all these fancy skills.
Yeah, there's that's what social media has kind of created. It showcases a lot of the flair and the very cool stuff about the sport and about everything, even like fitness and other stuff.
Yeah.
But it doesn't show the basics because it doesn't grab your attention. It's not fancy. It doesn't get the views. I do think social media is making a shift towards that a bit more, where the more constructive content and the more long formish content, which is more basic as opposed to very snappy and very fast paced editing and a lot of graphics. I think I see it moving towards more lower paced and more valuable content.
Okay. But more authentic and less.
Exactly. Which is really good.
Well, that's done a full shift then. That's kind of doing a full circle going back.
I think so.
Be interesting to see. But going back to, so growing up, football, a lot of traveling, a lot of moving, a lot of dynamic kind of childhood experiences. Mm-hmm. Where was your first experience of adversity, what you can remember? Because we're shaped by how we perceive or how we receive an event. And that can then kind of build us up, or it can bring us down for a period to help us move forward. What was the first kind of adverse moment, whether it was personally from whether in uni or personal or football? When was it? Can you remember?
The first moment that popped into my mind was an injury I sustained. Okay. It was pretty tough. We had just moved to the US. And keep in mind, when we knew we were moving to the US, that was a week before we actually moved. So we had a week of time to get an English tutor in because I was 8 years old. You're not really learning English in school then, or are you? Like very basic. And I was going straight into a British school in Houston, Texas, barely speaking any English. So we got a tutor in, moved to the US, and then I'd barely spoken English. The first week that I was in school, I was playing tag with these kids and I barely spoke English, obviously just getting to know everyone. And keep in mind, I was 8 or 9 years old.
Yeah.
There was a fence around the school, around the schoolyard. And underneath the fence, there was barbed wire just to keep pests and rodents out and everything. I was playing tag. Someone tagged me, pushed me, and I fell face first into the barbed wire.
Oh.
And I had just moved into this school. We were there for a week. And I was fine. I was on adrenaline. So I just stood up. And I remember looking up at the playground, all these kids playing, and they just all looked at me because I was covered in blood. But I was doing all right. I was still up on adrenaline, and obviously the nurse came over. Everyone was screaming, and then started to hurt quite a bit. I had a huge gash right there. So obviously my sister was in the school as well. They had a big announcement. I went to the nurse's office, had a pad on there and everything.
Wow.
Blood gushing out my face. My sister got called into the ambulance. My parents got called. Obviously, we didn't have any insurance sorted yet. Well, everything was still in the works, so my parents really freaked out, obviously. I had no idea what was going on. I was in a new country, a young kid, barely spoke the language. So that was a pretty tough moment.
Absolutely. Do you believe that, like, obviously from as a kid you play and you have those moments that can either kind of strike fear into you to be like, right, I can't play, or did you just continue playing, and did it affect anything moving forward?
No, to be honest, I think it was a pretty fun experience all in all. It didn't really, I don't remember it as it hurting a lot.
Yeah, okay.
I just remember it at all these kids looking at me, and then, whoa, I'm in the ambulance, I get a big teddy bear and we're going to the hospital. This is pretty cool.
I might do it again.
Yeah, I think, I don't know, that's what and then what I do remember is obviously in hospital we had to wait really long because they had to sort the insurance and all that. Eventually they had to stitch me up, and I didn't want them to do that. So what I do remember is they put a whole sheet over the top of me with a hole right there so I couldn't see anything, and my dad had to hold me down as they stitched me up.
Okay, it could be quite traumatic.
I do remember, yeah.
Stay down here.
Yeah, he had to hold me down. It took like an hour for them to stitch me up, and the stitches, they didn't do too well.
Is that what that one is it?
That's that.
That's the memory lives forever.
Yeah.
Scar tells 1,000 stories, mate.
So that I don't see it as a traumatic experience altogether, but
but that was that was your first one you remember.
Yeah.
But then we've had conversations before. We've connected from a gym perspective, and you got in fantastic shape. When was that around? When did you really start hitting the gym? And what was the catalyst for that? Because obviously the gym as a foundational aspect is designed, or in my opinion, is to improve your physical capacity to enjoy life more, or to improve your human capacity and what you can explore. But so many people, including myself in the past, have used it to build an ego and to build a base of security.
Yeah.
So what was it for you? How did you start getting in the gym?
The moment we just talked about in the US was a physically adverse moment. One of the more traumatic, well, not really traumatic, one of the more tough experience for me was a breakup. I had a relationship for 5 or 6 years with my ex-girlfriend. We had a great relationship, but eventually we just kind of grew apart. She went to study in Den Haag, The Hague, and I went to study in Nijmegen, and we just slowly grew apart. But I didn't see it coming. I was still wildly in love with her. But she wasn't with me anymore, so she broke up with me. And for me, it just kind of came out of nowhere. But looking back, I should have seen it coming. But that was really tough on me.
It's easier to look back though, now you know what you know.
Yeah, of course. And that kind of broke me down. The first week, I was just sat at home. Obviously, I was living in Nijmegen at the time, but for that whole week, I stayed with my parents because I would travel back and forth in the weekends to see my parents.
How old are you at this age?
What was I, like 18, 19?
Okay.
19, 20, yeah.
So potentially around the first love era where you kind of have that big first relationship and this is it.
Yeah.
Right, wow. How did you feel?
Horrible. Just sulking. I was just sat at home. I remember my mum wanted to take me out to dinner, and I was like, yeah, fine, all right, we'll go out to dinner. And I just sat in the restaurant. I couldn't eat. I had like this lovely pasta from me. I just couldn't get anything down. I was just sat there. I was genuinely depressed. I was not in a good place.
Empty.
Yeah, I just didn't know what to feel. I was nowhere. I just really didn't know what to do. I looked back, I had my beard growing out. I was looking horrible, man.
He's going through something.
Yeah, I was definitely going through something. And I don't remember what really got into me. But after a week or so, or after 2 weeks, I was just like, this isn't good. I have to do something. I have to get myself back together, right? So I went to the gym, and I had been going to the gym, but I'd kind of lost the passion for the gym in the relationship because you kind of get comfortable, and I was still,
Yeah.
but
And your
then,
focus goes on them, not you. And
exactly.
yeah,
But then I think it was more out of spite than anything
go on.
that I started to go to the gym, and I started to go a lot. I was in there for 7 days a week, even twice a day sometimes. And I was locked in. I was there for 2 hours a day, maybe even more. And that was the only kind of point where I was like clear in my head.
Yeah.
I'm just pushing the weights. Then I was like, I'm going to get as big as possible, and I'm going to look absolutely wham. And she's going to regret her decision. That is it.
That was your driving force.
That was the driving force, which is horrible, but it worked. And yeah, I got into the gym. I got really fit. I got really big, and I was really proud of myself. And I started to really find myself again. Yeah, but eventually you're still kind of empty.
Yeah.
And now, well, I've been going to the gym for like 5-6 months, and I had been going back into town, starting to see people again. I remember bumping into her, and she's like, "Wow, you look phenomenal. You've been going to the gym," and seen friends of hers, and all her friends were like, "Wow, Koen, what's happened to you?" And
Did that give you the feeling that you deep down wanted?
yes,
Okay.
100%. It's horrible to say that, but yes, it did.
It's not, it's truth. And so many people do go to the gym for that reason. And you, like as you say, a breakup is a big motivator to go, but it's not for you. It's to prove them wrong rather than to prove you right type thing. It's an interesting motivator.
It was, I think, somewhere for the wrong reason, but it is a means to an end.
Yeah.
And eventually that did help me find the confidence back into to really become the man that I am today now. Because if you look the part, that does a lot for yourself.
100%. But even when you go down the like the chemical route of what training does, if you feel that low, training anyway releases happy hormones like serotonin and dopamine and all this, and it just reinforces that happier state.
Yeah.
Did you rely on the gym? Was the gym the only thing that made you happy though?
Yes.
At that, yeah. Did that push you to go more because it made you feel a certain way, so you went again? Okay.
And again and again.
Yeah.
My whole life was based on the gym for a good 2 years.
Yeah.
At least it's the only thing I did. Just went to the gym, ate. That's it.
It's so
And
interesting.
if I was bored, I'd go to the gym again.
Yeah. It's very interesting because that almost was the only thing that gave you meaning or gave you that feeling of
100%.
satisfaction, but it wasn't for you. What would you say to people that are going through the same thing now and using the gym as a means? What would you say? Or what would you say to yourself back then that you know now? Anything different?
I don't think I'd do anything different, because there's other ways you can go about a breakup or something that's not great in your life. If something horrible or traumatic happens, there's other ways that you can go about it that aren't as healthy as going to the gym.
100%.
So this was my way of dealing with it, and I think it's probably the best I could have done in that situation, because I just wasn't feeling good, and my outlet was the gym. As to other people that are in worse situations, choose for other things that are not healthy.
Alcohol.
Exactly, that aren't good for you. So I'm happy I chose that route, and I don't think I should have done anything different.
Yeah, absolutely. From a mental standpoint though, like if you're going through a breakup, what would you tell yourself now, obviously knowing what you know, when you first felt that feeling? If anyone out there is feeling a breakup or going through that kind of lost feeling, what would you tell that person?
I think I lost myself in that relationship. So I think the key is to find yourself again. It's really cliche to say this, but you have to love yourself before you can love anyone else.
100%.
And I found that through going to the gym and finding my confidence back, and that really kind of was the catalyst of me becoming the man that I am, and that's how I found to love myself.
Yeah, powerful.
Yeah.
Really powerful, mate. And then that took you on to your next stage of life.
Yeah.
Once you've kind of gone through that first big lesson, then you found the gym and the training, and that was probably what you needed to then really dial into the gym to get that understanding of, wow, the gym is a powerful tool.
Exactly.
But then, and the nutrition and everything else that comes with it to feel a certain way. But then what happened with the mind afterwards? How did you start elevating your mindset? How did you start elevating your self-love, self-belief? Because that doesn't just happen. That's a muscle itself. What did you do?
That came a lot later, to be honest. The gym was one thing, but my mindset still wasn't right.
Okay.
It was more an outlet than it was me.
Yeah.
Doing
an evolution.
Yeah, exactly. And I was still in a place in my life where I was going to uni, doing a study that I didn't really want to do, that I wasn't really enjoying. So once again, the gym was just an outlet for me to get away from all of that. Not only the breakup, but also the course that I was studying that I wasn't really enjoying, and I was just doing it to get it done.
Yeah.
Because that's the route you take in life, right? You go to stay high
Common
school.
way of living.
That's the common way of living, and I'm happy I did it, obviously.
Yeah.
But I was just doing what I had to do, and the gym was my way of actually getting some enjoyment out of life.
Go into your own little world and do something that you want to do.
Yeah. And then eventually, once I did finish my studies, I just lost myself again.
What happened after that?
I moved back from Nijmegen to my hometown, Roermond. And I was just back in the same situation I was before I started studying uni. So I didn't really tell you about this, but before I went to go to uni, I talked a lot with my dad, like, what is it I want to do? Dad, I'll be honest, I have no clue. I just don't know. And well, my dad was a chemical engineer and a very smart man. My sister is very smart as well. She studied business at the University of Maastricht. She finished that cum laude as well, very successful.
Wow.
She got a great job, and I was always kind of
Come on, son.
yeah, exactly, right. He'll be all right. He's
Come on,
sports.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it was. So I didn't really know what to do. So I chose to do a sports major, and I did that for a year, and then just hated it. So dropped out of that. Did a year of just kind of finding myself, going to the gym, and also doing some voluntary work or some charity work in Fiji.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't think I ever told you about
Nah, that's the first thing. Charity work
I went
in
to
Fiji.
Fiji for a month, or 2 months, where I did a shark conservation project. Very interesting.
Wow.
I told you about this.
No?
So this is what my dad got me onto. My sister did this as well. It's with a company called Projects Abroad, and they send young kids to places where, for example, Fiji, or my sister went to Thailand, where they help the environment or they help people in need. It was a great project, one of the best things I've ever done in my life.
Can imagine.
And that also helped me find myself and what I wanted to do.
100%.
So it was a shark conservation project. So we did a lot of diving, a lot of fish ID, where we would have a little slate while we went diving. You had to count certain fishes.
Wow.
So through that, we could define the shark species in the water and the population of it. Because obviously sharks eat certain fish, and then from there you can do your research. And so the shark population is pretty definitive of how healthy the ecosystem in the water is.
So you learned a lot on there.
I learned so much on there, and I got to meet people from around the world, and I had the time of my life. And obviously that I still didn't have any direction of where I was going. So then I was loving diving, and did all the way up to my rescue diver, almost got my dive master. And from then on, I was like, okay, I'm going to be a dive master. This is what I want to do. So I came back, and then I still had to finish my studies, of course. Obviously, my dad was like, fine, you could do that. Finish your studies first. Yeah. What do you want to do? I was like, okay, shit. I still don't know
Here we go.
what to do. So we'll just do this. My friend told me about communications major, which was a bachelor, marketing and communications. So I was all right. You know what? Let's just do this. Signed up for that, started that. It was horrible. Didn't enjoy any of it. But I had to finish it. So I did. Cracked on. Did it in 4.5 years. Finished it. And then we moved back to Roermond, and I was stuck in the same hole.
And it's interesting when you go back in, because you've done had all these different experiences, but then you go back home and you have that same experience.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting because you've left, you've done something new, but then you go back into the same environment, how that can bring about the same feeling.
Yeah.
And it's so hard to break away from something that has always been the known. You know what I mean? It's hard for you to be this evolved person, still not enjoying your studies, but you've grown. But then you go back to the old environment, and then you almost go back into your old self, just because that's the way it was, so this is the way it is.
I think during those studies, I was just kind of following the pathway as opposed to searching for what my purpose was meant to do.
And
I was just doing what I was supposed to do.
Ticking boxes.
I was working in a suit store. I was going to the gym. I was doing my studies. And that was it. Not even thinking about what I wanted to do after. I was speaking to all my classmates. I was asking them, what are you going to do after? And they were like, oh yeah, I'm going to do marketing this and this and this. And I was like, oh, that sounds horrible.
Yeah.
And then I started to question myself towards the last year. Like, everyone's got the direction they want to go in, and I just have no clue of what I want to do. And it's definitely not what everyone here is talking about. So what do I do now?
It's interesting that. That's a very interesting point.
And it's a horrible place to be in, because everyone's really everyone just enjoyed the study so much. And I was just sat there like, guys, this is horrible. Yeah. How can you find enjoyment out of this? I genuinely despise being here.
Wow. And that was almost showing you that there's something else for you that's not your calling.
Yeah.
Marketing might be someone else's, or whatever you feel the most passion in and you enjoy, then I believe that's your kind of, right, this is what I'm born to do, this is why I'm here. But then you had that feeling of, nah.
I thought there has to be more.
This isn't it.
There has to be more to life than just this.
But you could have just settled. You could have just settled.
And don't get me wrong, there were good moments as well. Like, I had good classmates. I enjoyed some time. Some classes were quite interesting, but overall, I just didn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
So then when I came back to Ramon, then I started talking with my dad again. I was like, I just don't know what to do now, Dad. He just said, well, man, it's normal. You just got to find a job. It's like, that's what life is. You just do your studies, you find a job. It's what your sister did. What I did. You have to get to work. You have to earn your money. I was like, yeah. And then that was kind of a moment where I was like, all right, I guess this is just what it is now. I've got to go find a job.
This is it.
So I started finding jobs, had a sales job for a bit, which was horrible. Didn't find any enjoyment out of that. It was basically just cold calling. Then I had a marketing job at a sports company, which I was like, oh, all right, it's a sports company. It's a brand that make football shirts. And I was like, oh, football as well. They work for a local club. Got in there. Salary was horrible. I finished my uni and I was earning 2,000 euros a month at that company for a full-time marketing job. Keep in mind, they got me for marketing. So I got in there first day and I was like, all right, what is the plan? Well, Koen, you're marketing, right? So just do marketing.
Cheers.
And
all right.
I was like, okay, where's the head of marketing? Well, that's you. I said, I have no idea what I'm doing here. So I was responsible for the social media, which they didn't do. I was responsible for the marketing, which they didn't do either. And it was kind of a brand that was going downhill as well. They're finished now.
Did you put them under?
No, I did not. No, I did not.
How interesting, though, by the way, that you did something that sport sparked it, but then you went into social media, you went into the you went into the marketing.
Yes.
And now where you are,
Mm-hmm.
you almost, I'm getting that you almost had to go down that path to get to get that exposure to go right.
So, and it was tough for me because I feel like for this company, I came with some good ideas. Like, they wanted to try some new types of stuff, and I was like, okay, the brand's old, and everyone sees this brand as an old brand.
Yeah.
So we need to blow some new life into this, right? So the idea I had was, let's make a separate, smaller brand underneath the head brand, which will be streetwear.
Yeah.
So we'll call it, I can't say the brand name.
Yeah.
But it'll be street.
Yeah.
And we'll get some pana players, some freestyle footballers involved, and it'll be very cool. I made a whole plan for that, and I pitched it to the head, to the director, and shoved it away. And I was like, oh, I've been working on this for like a month.
See,
So why am I even here?
so interesting. You almost have like a lack of like belonging, and you're putting so much effort in. There's so many people out there who probably feel like that, but they stick in a job just because it's comfortable. Mm-hmm. And what was the, like, you were putting all this effort in, all this work into something that wasn't getting recognised. What was the breaking point for you to go, nah, fuck this, I'm doing my own thing? What was that breakaway to start where you are now? Where did that evolution come from?
So in the meantime, while I was working the full-time job, I was still playing football for the local club, which was fun. And when I did have a few days off, we would always just play football with a couple lads. And I'd always be in goal, obviously.
Yeah.
And TikTok was kind of an upcoming platform, and I was always one of the people when TikTok started. I was like, I'm not downloading that. It's just a lot of people dancing. I don't need to see that. And then eventually I was all right, I'll download it, have a look. Then I don't really remember why, if I'm being honest, but we went to the pitch, and a friend of mine was taking free kicks. I put my phone down, filmed the save I made, and I was like, you know what, just put this on TikTok. All right. So put it on TikTok, got a couple hundred views, and I really enjoyed the process.
Okay.
And that video got like, I think, 400 or 500 views, and I just envisioned 500 people stood in front of me watching at me, and I was like, wow, that's a lot of people.
Wow. Yeah.
That is a lot of people. Imagine 500 people. That's so many people. And that really sparked just like a passion, which I didn't know I had, for creating.
Yeah.
And I was still working the full-time job. So while I was doing the full-time job, I was still going to training. And when I did have time off, I was going to the pitch with my mates and starting to film little bits here and there. And then when I was at my job, I shouldn't say this, but while I was at my job, I was working more on making the videos and doing the editing.
Yeah.
And starting the little logo design for Dutch goalkeeper and making videos. Then I was actually doing the job which is not a great look. So don't do this. It's your watch. Don't.
But you know what? That shows that you truly weren't happy where you were.
No, I wasn't.
And if other people are doing that, I'm sure many people are, because I did it in some ways as well. You have a bigger passion, you have a bigger calling. So listen to that and follow through with it.
Yeah.
Because then you can work every single day. Doesn't make it easy, but you enjoy the process and you can actually enjoy your life.
Yeah.
What your passion project is, work on it, evolve it, and then launch it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I remember it just wasn't a healthy environment I was in. We would always go on a walk during the break with other co-workers, and during that walk it was just half an hour of complaining. Everyone, mainly me, to be honest, but it was a lot of other people were complaining about all the situations. And obviously I found a bit of passion in making videos for Dutch Goalkeeper. I wasn't making any money at all, but I was still living at home.
Yeah.
So I spoke to my dad about it, making the videos, and he was like, well, okay, I don't know what you're doing, but all right, if you're enjoying it, do you? He's a goalkeeper as well, so he's like, all right, that's pretty cool to see. But you're not making any money, mate, so what are you going to do now? So I was like, Dad, I didn't even tell him, by the way. So there was that point that I told you about, the little project I made, and I just got shoved away.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the breaking point where I was like, fuck this, sorry for the language.
Yeah.
I'm done. So I just quit. I said, I'm not going in anymore. Leave it. Never mind.
So you quit with no income, with nothing else that was sourcing your life. Obviously, you're still at home, but you literally left everything.
Yeah. I was living at my parents' house, which was a very big
that
thing.
helps. Yeah.
I had a roof over my head. I was being fed. And my mum and dad have always said, it's not a problem. Like, we will always take care of you, whatever you need, which is amazing. I'm really thankful to them for that.
Yeah, it's amazing.
But as soon as I got home, I told my dad about the situation. And I think he was abroad. He was working abroad at the time. So I was like, yo, Dad, I quit my job.
Happy Monday.
He was right. Okay, what other job did you get? I said, well, not really any. I don't really have another job. He's like, okay, so what are you going to do now? I said, well, I don't know. I'll just have to find something else to do. So I got a bit of time, but I did get a part-time job in the outlet, which was a big shopping mall in Roermond, in my hometown. I worked there part-time, 3 days a week, selling watches, selling Tag Heuer watches. And I really enjoyed that. And I was making good money. I was making more money in those 3 days of work than I was at my part-time job.
Yeah,
which is mental to me, by the way, because I did a 5 years bachelor's degree to make less money in a marketing job full-time than I could doing a sales job, which I don't need a single degree for.
Yeah.
But that to one side. Yeah. So I was working a part-time job, and that enabled me to start making more videos and to really chase the passion that I really loved, which was, being a goalkeeper and making videos about. So slowly but surely I started to get more traction on TikTok especially. And I remember saying to Jana, because I was with Jana from the start, and she didn't really know what I was doing. And a lot of people were making fun of me at the time as well.
Wow.
When I was starting out, it was horrible. A lot of people were like, what's Koen doing? Why is he making these videos? What?
Did it ever come into your mind to stop because of what people were saying?
I did not give a fuck.
Never.
Sorry, once again for the language. No. I was so done with following what was normal or what people would think was okay to do. And I was just...
the way of life.
I was so finished with what other people would think of me. And I was just like, fuck that. Yeah. I just couldn't care less.
Wow.
And I remember a lot of people were like, what is Koen doing with these videos? Why isn't he just working? I thought he had a job. What's happened with that?
Wow.
Even a lot of Jana's friends as well.
The masses coming at you thinking, you're different because you're not doing the same as us. But I guarantee most of them people who are commenting on you were not enjoying their daily life and still do not.
Exactly.
And still do not.
Yeah. So that was tough, but I pushed through that. And it was tough for Jana as well, because obviously it was some of her friends at the time. And
judgment and...
yeah, and obviously
your partner,
those friends had boyfriends which were having successful jobs. And we had a date dinner. I'm not sure if I can say this.
It's coming. We're on.
Nothing bad to anyone watching. We had a date then. I don't remember who it was, but one of the guys there kind of asked me what I was doing, and they were kind of having a laugh at me for it. I don't remember Jana.
Are these friends?
Well, it was friends of Jana.
Okay.
Boyfriends or relationships.
Okay,
with
friends of a partner, yeah.
I remember Jana was kind of... she didn't know what to think either, obviously, because...
yeah, well, it's unknown to her.
I was the only guy who wasn't really successful. Or, well, define successful, right? I wasn't working a full-time job.
You weren't working a full-time job, getting a salary that was paying for something, but you were probably happier than the others.
Yeah.
Which is very interesting.
And then I remember I told Jana the goal is to have 10,000 followers by the end of the year. And it was, I think, November, do I remember, 2019 or 2020 that I started?
COVID time?
Yeah, COVID time.
Yeah.
And I remember New Year's Day, so Old Year's Day, I don't know what we call it Oudjaarsdag in Netherlands, which is the 31st of December.
Okay, New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
So New Year's, it's the day, it was during the day. So I remember I told Diana, I want to have 10,000 followers on TikTok by the end of the year. That's the goal I've set. And I posted a video, it was a motivation video, like of me making a save and doing some drills, and it got like 250,000 views. And I just saw my followers just firing up. And I posted another video after that, which did the numbers as well. And I think by the time New Year struck, I had like 40,000 followers.
Wow.
Crazy.
In one day.
I remember it was New Year's Eve and I was chatting with the lads and it was New Year's Eve, we were having a drink, just enjoying our life. And I was like, what is going on? You seen this, lads?
Wow. And you said it out loud, you put it out there, you said, this is the go at it.
Yeah. And then from then on,
wow,
that gave me the motivation to continue going, because then I talked to a goalkeeper brand. I sent them a message. Oh, this is a fun story.
Reach out, come on.
I reached out to this goalkeeper brand because I was always wearing their gloves, and I said, would you guys like to send me a pair of gloves? I'm making these videos, They said, okay, we'll send you one pair. They sent me one pair, did a couple videos for them, unpacking them. Didn't do great, but did all right. And then straight away I got an email, nah, never mind, we don't want to work with you. All right, fair enough. Kept making the videos, started to do a little bit on YouTube, a little bit on Instagram, started to grow more. Then Titan reached out and they were like, Koen, we love what you're doing. Boom, we're going to start paying you. It wasn't a lot. It was something, couple €100 a month.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm starting to make money off of this. I can actually, it's not a lot of money and I'm not going to make a living out of it, but it's something.
Yeah.
And I was still living at my mum and dad's and it was fine.
Wow.
So from then on, it just started snowballing, making more videos, different ideas, got opportunities to travel the world, travel to Prague for this little video game they wanted to put me in. Did so many things that I could have never imagined what was possible. Went to the UK for charity matches, went to Germany to film with professional goalkeepers, filmed with professionals in Netherlands, played in charity matches. And mate, there's all these things that I've now done, which is like crazy to look back on. And all these opportunities came from that. Started to earn some more money. And I was like, Dad, I'm actually, especially me getting validation from my dad was a big thing, because I was like, Dad, look at this. I'm actually starting to make some good money.
Yeah.
So I quit my part-time job. And Dad said, all right, okay, if you really want to pursue this, I like what you're doing, but I just have no idea, because Dad's always been from the traditional route.
Work hard, make your money.
Exactly, yeah. He's all right, you're still living at home, that's fine. I'll give you 6 months. If you do not earn enough money to be on your own in 6 months, get back on the full-time job. All right, okay, I'll do it.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah, so then 6 months locked in, making videos, several videos a day, just posting so much. And it snowballed, just kept going better and better, more numbers. And yeah, eventually spoke more with Titan. They wanted to start paying me more, starting to earn other money from brand deals and sponsorships that I was doing. YouTube was doing well. And then 6 months later, I was earning enough money to get an apartment for me and Jana.
Wow.
Moved out the house, started to live together, build our life up there. More YouTube videos, more opportunities. That's kind of how it snowballed.
Some story that. Wow. And people don't understand. People see the videos now and they see the millions, they see the masses rather than the little things. People see the tip of the iceberg out of the water. They don't see what is underneath the water.
Yeah.
They don't see everything that you've had to go through, experience, endure, live through to be the figure that they see you as.
Yeah.
But there's so much more to you than people see. And it's very interesting that we're having this conversation, because it really brings it out the depth that has fueled you to follow your passion. It's not just, oh, my life's been easy, I've just followed it and made. You've had so much adversity, so many challenges, so many self-doubting moments to be like, I feel lost, I feel uncertain. What is life? Like, okay, do I follow the common path and be unhappy but make a living? You took that risk.
Yeah.
And there's so many people out there who have an idea that they don't risk, that they don't try.
Yeah, I think I was in a position where I was able to take the risk, and that is, of course, 100% down to my parents.
You had the support, yeah.
I thank them very much for that, and I do believe there's people that are not in a position to do that.
Fully,
yes. But I think the way I went about it was, I started when I was still working a full-time job.
Yeah, exactly. That's
full-time job is 40, 50 hours a week.
And you spend the X hours doing your thing.
I spent the other hours on my laptop or at the pitch, and I had a full-time job, and I was playing for a team.
And a partner and a family, or a partner at the time.
A partner at the time, yeah. So I had Jana to do stuff with. I had the football, which I had a match, and I had 2 trainings a week, and I wanted to film content as well. And a full-time job. So it was a lot.
100%. So it's not, well done, there's the lucky ticket. It's you put the work in, you put the hours in.
People say they don't have the time, but they do. You have to make the time.
What you prioritize, you'll make time for.
Exactly.
People go, I haven't got the time for the gym. It's because you don't prioritize it. Exactly. It's not high enough on the list. You value it to a degree, but it might be fifth in your values.
Yes.
Social time with the lads of a weekend is higher up on that priority list than committing to yourself or working on whatever it is.
Yeah.
There's always time.
And I've always said as well, which is I think one of the most important takeaways that I have from this whole experience, and it's even though I wasn't making a lot of money, especially when I was starting out, I told Jana this as well. I said we were starting our relationship, and I really was in love with her, and I told her I'm not making good money right now, but I'm genuinely the happiest I've ever been. So if you are searching for, someone that's going to make a lot of money, it might not be me, but I'm genuinely happy at the moment.
Wow.
So if I do continue to make this amount of money or make less, I'd rather be happy.
Wow. And you know what? You can only experience happiness from feeling the lowest of lows.
Yeah.
You can only understand what happiness is until you go through that. I am not happy.
Exactly.
You need to experience that to be able to understand what that happiness is for you. And that, you know what, that is a testament to you, a partner, someone new coming into your life that, you know what, I'm going to just tell you how it is, and I'm going to be transparent, vulnerable.
I really have to give credits to Jana for this as well, because she, as I said, she's been with me from the start, from when I finished my degree and when I started working the full-time job. That's when I started to get into a relationship with Jana.
Okay.
And I told her as well, and she knew this. She said to me, I've never seen you like this. You are unhappy. You are just depressed. And I told her as well.
Lost, and I
said, if I keep doing what I'm doing right now, it's not going to end well. I was genuinely on the edge. I told her, I can't live like this. I cannot, because I'm so depressed. I was just sad. I was just so unhappy. I said, I just can't live like if this is the rest of my life, I just don't want to do it.
Wow.
And I think it.
What?
Yes.
Oh, hello.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was really deep, and I told her as well. I said, Jana, I just can't do this.
And I've said this before many times, and it's even with clients that I work with. It's usually people only make that change when they are at that point. It's not when they're in the comfortable zone. Like, you know what? I'm happy. I'm okay, but I'll take a risk. It never is. Mm-hmm. People stick in that. I'm okay. Yeah. They live there rather than a lot of people who hit the bottom of the well and there's only 2 other options.
But I think there's a lot of people that are in the situation where they think they're okay, but if they step back and look at the situation they're in, they're genuinely not.
It becomes a personality.
Yeah.
People who live, and this is another thing that I've noticed with a lot of clients that I work with, because they come and ask for support from a mental aspect. They go, yeah, life's okay. I know it's not, because you say that. You either feel happy or you're not. And the reason, and when I say that, it doesn't mean happiness as in, oh, everything's always bright and rosy, but you have a state that is home. You have a home state, which is, this is my fundamental. Things are going to go bad, things are going to go great.
Yeah.
But my home state is this. So many people get used to feeling so low that they've felt it for so long that the moment they feel high, they go, this won't last. Mm-hmm. Bring themselves back down. Yeah. If you've always stuck that thermometer at 60 degrees, as soon as you go to 70 or 80, they're like, oh, I don't know what this is. Let's go back to 60. Yeah. I know this is my comfort zone. But why not get it up to 100 and keep that state? Might come down to 90 now and again.
That's fine.
Might go back, but you have a higher level. Wow, that hit me. That really hit.
Yeah, that was. I think I've not really often looked back on that, because it just wasn't a great moment in my life. And I really thank Anna for sticking with me through all of that, because it was rough.
And you know what? That arrow had to be pulled back in order for it to go forward. You had to be feeling that tension to go, nah,
I think so as well.
No more.
That was one of the drives for me to pursue what I actually did find some enjoyment out of, which at the time was making the videos. And
that's inspiring.
Yes.
And there'll be so many people out there that can resonate with that so much, that they either are at the bottom and they're really unsure about what's next. And that tends to lead on to the gym for some people.
Yeah.
Or drinking, because then they can escape the reality, because their headspace is in a different space. It's, oh, everyone's happy. It's not. Then when they come back down to it, they need another drink to get them back on that level again, or drugs, or whatever it is. But it's really about identifying where you are at. Okay, I am currently here, but now what? How do I positively change?
I think what a lot of people struggle with, and what I struggled with as well, is really finding their passion, is what a lot of people talk about, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, just find your passion and follow your dreams. Like, what? Back in the day, I was like, what is my passion? I have no idea what you guys are talking about. I'm going to uni, which is horrible, and I'm going to the gym, which is all right. I don't have a passion.
Yeah.
I'm just living life.
But what you did do, and I'll commend you on that, is you tried so many different things. You then went to something else. But then when something gave you that feeling of, I enjoyed that, explore more of it.
Exactly.
Because you can't stay in the same job. You can't continue doing the same things and expect different results. That is the definition of an insanity. People do the same thing and go, oh, but I'm still not happy. You haven't changed anything. Try something new. Try a new experience. Try new groups of people. Try new environments. You know what I mean? You really need to step out of that comfort bubble, what you know as the known.
And I think I did always have a passion for creating content. I always watched YouTube. I always watched YouTube videos my entire life, and I've always thought, oh, how cool would it be to be a YouTuber? But I never really pursued it because I never really took that step to actually.
Did you ever believe you could be? Did you ever believe when you were watching it, wow, I could do this? Or
not until I kind of had that phase that I went through of becoming the person who I am.
Yeah.
Before then, it was always just kind of watching and not realizing that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Realizing that you can actually be the creator. And I think a big thing in that is as well, just not caring about what other people think.
100%. And that takes a lot, but that's got to come from self-worth and self-love to go, right, I know who I am, and I'm anchored with what I believe in, how I feel, and how I present myself in the world. No matter what anyone says, I am me. You like me, perfect. You don't, perfect. No problem.
And I look back now on some of the videos I've made, and I just think, like, what was I doing? I can understand people thinking, what was he doing?
Can you? Wow.
Yeah, which is fine.
Of course it is.
It's a means to an end.
Yeah.
It's eventually part of the journey.
You've got to evolve along the way. Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
And you've told me that, like, I've really over-analysed my content and been like, oh, I can't put that because it doesn't quite, and that perfectionism kicks in. But you've just got to put it out, be authentic. And that's something that why I've created this podcast, so we can really talk on a deep level, because that's something I really enjoy.
Yeah.
And get to know the person. Because people see success and a lot of things, not everything, on YouTube is how to make your first million. Imagine you make 100,000 a year, what a life that is. But everything is driven towards the million, the 10 million followers, the 100,000 a year. You can live a very happy life depending on how you live.
Yeah.
But so everything, a lot of things that are consuming is how to be ultimate productivity, how to live your life this way. 18.4 habits a day that you should do to be sick. So much overwhelm and so much comparison.
It's never enough, is it?
Yeah.
You can be, when I was 16 or 18, I was like, oh, imagine I made like 2,000 euros a month. And you make that, and then you're like, oh, imagine I make 4 or 10 or 15. And then when you're making that, you're always going to think of more. It's never going to be enough.
Yeah. But how can it be? Because otherwise you end up chasing, and you get to your deathbed and you go, you know what? Wow, I just chased my whole life rather than really experiencing it.
Yeah.
Really, what do I want to spend more time on? My family and my business, because I enjoy it. Okay. Not chasing the money. What you put out, you get back. If you chase something, it runs. So you constantly keep chasing, I believe. But if you sit in it and you already believe you've got it, it just comes to you. And when you're grateful with what you have, anything that comes is such a blessing. Whereas when you're not grateful where you are, you then want more to then, I will feel grateful when. When never comes.
I think it's a tough thing to balance. It's what I've struggled with myself recently, and most of my life, especially as a father now, is finding the balance between, as a father and an entrepreneur.
And a husband as well.
And a husband. Finding the balance between business doing well and time for your family. Because obviously you need to manage your finances, but you want to spend quality time with your family, but also your business needs to keep running. So it's just... And then I do find that oftentimes when I do spend time with family, I'm still thinking about the business. So it's like, is that actually quality time, or is it, oh, mate, that's horrible.
Yeah.
It's one of the things I struggle most with, and Jana's on my ass about it as well, which she should be, which I thank her for.
Good.
But it's tough, and I struggle with it, especially because I have ADHD.
Okay.
Which is, I'm all over the place.
Going on. Yeah.
I can never, because how do you even explain that? Like, when I'm working on a project, I'm working on 7 other things at the same time as well, because there's so many things I have to think about. It's all right, thumbnail has to go, YouTube video has to be edited, this editor needs this, all right, I have to remember to do this and this for the camps that we're running. And once I'm working on one project, all of a sudden my mind goes to something else. And then I start working on that. And then I'm like, oh, but I was working on this. I have to go back to this.
Spinning plates. Like how do you separate that, as you say, like your thumbnail, YouTube video, something else is going on, phone call. How do you use that to your advantage?
I don't know if I can. It just happens.
Or you just accept it?
I am able to get into, when I'm really deep into a project or when I'm editing a video myself, I can get into a flow state and really dive in deep into that video. And if no one would disturb me, I would just go 10 hours straight. I can do, but most of the time there's so many different types of things going on that I have to get done.
Yeah.
I say that I have to get done, but at the end of the day, you're a business owner, so no one is telling you have to get it done. It's the pressure you put on yourself, obviously. And that probably is one of the reasons why it is like this.
Yeah.
I don't really cope with it. It just happens.
Okay. So it's just a way of life that you...
My way of working efficiently.
Yeah. And it works.
It works.
For you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah. You know what? It's not you, and it's accepting who you are and how you operate at this current moment in time.
Yeah.
And if this is working, why fix what isn't broken? That's the big thing.
And I think in the space as a content creator, things happen quite quickly as well. Sometimes you get an opportunity, especially when I was back in Europe, I would have opportunities like, hey, Koen, there's a match tomorrow. Do you want to go? All right. I was supposed to be filming this and this tomorrow, but okay. All right. You know what? Leave it. We'll go.
Yeah.
I remember there was such a weird story. I haven't told anyone.
Here we go.
I've been in a World Cup commercial.
A World Cup commercial.
For a Chinese milk brand.
Where can people find this? And if you do, please tag this podcast, tag me.
I might have to make a little story on this, I might have to make a little video on this, a short video, and I will do. But that was one of those things that was off the cuff. It was the day before, and they were like, hey, Koen, we have an opportunity. Do you want to fly to Portugal for the weekend? We're shooting a World Cup commercial for this Chinese milk brand. Imagine getting an email like that.
I'd think it was spam.
So did I, but I talked with my management about it. They said, yeah, looks like a cool opportunity. Everything's sorted, everything's paid for. Just go. I was like, okay. So less than 24 hours later, I was on a flight to Portugal, stayed there for a weekend, did the whole filming. It was mental.
That's cool, though, and the fact you can embrace that. And I think, like, from the story, what you've told, having that spontaneity as a kid, going different places, and that really helps that, because some people are so set in structure. And I was ex-military. I was so 12 o'clock I'm doing this, 1 o'clock I'm doing this, and if it didn't stick to my structure, I was like, head gone.
Yeah.
So that is such a thing to commend of, okay, something's come up that can move to the right, boom, I'm doing this.
And I do think a lot of spontaneous experiences like that are often the best.
That is life.
And it was such a weird thing to do, but it was really fun.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to watch that video. And as I said, please tag me if you come across it. That'll be gold. And come on then. So what people want to know, best video. I'm going to say best video, maybe the one you enjoyed creating the most and the one that probably got the largest amount of views and engagement.
There's several. It's tough to pick one. One of the ones that I enjoyed making most and actually performed really well was with my cat, Ollie. So I trained him to be a goalkeeper.
We trained your cat to be a goalkeeper?
Yes, and this got inspired by a different YouTuber. I don't know his name, I'm sorry, but there's a YouTuber, he trained his dog to play the piano. And I have a cat, his name's Ollie, he's a very smart cat. I'll say that, but he's very lazy as well. But I know I've seen videos of cats making saves and doing like goalkeeper bits. I was like, I can probably teach him to be a goalkeeper, right? And I really dove deep into that.
Yeah.
So I got in touch with a cat behavior specialist in the US, got a video call with her. I was training Ollie for months, doing all the research, like how do I actually get him to do this? Rolling balls at him. This project took like half a year to make.
Wow.
Calling with, her name was Molly, by the way, and my cat's name is Ollie.
Yeah.
It's like meant to be.
Yeah.
So called with her a few times, even got her on a video call while I had Ollie in his little goal. I had her on the video call watching me throw balls at Ollie. So made that video. I actually turned him into a goalkeeper. So now when Ollie's in the living room and we have the little goal set up and I say, Ollie, goalkeeper, he goes and sits in the little goal.
Wow. So bear in mind, Yana's supported you on this journey. She's come into the living room and seen you with a cat or with your cat with a goal behind him and you're throwing balls at him.
Yeah,
wow.
We had like family and friends come and visit, and I was just on my knees with Ollie. Ollie was sat in the goal, and I was throwing a ball there. What are you doing?
Yeah, don't worry, he's all right. He's having a moment.
Yeah.
Leave him to it.
But it
Wow.
was such a fun story to tell and such an enjoyable process together with Ollie because he's a cat, but he's really become my best friend. I had so much enjoyable time with him. And yeah, the video did really well, over 2 million views on YouTube. I mean, the short I made over 10 million views on Instagram.
Wow.
I think a couple million as well, TikTok, 10 million. Because it was such a good story and it was so much fun.
It's interesting, like how you probably created it as well through a story lens, and you could have put that up a different way and not got half of the exposure.
Well, the story started from the cat we had before Ollie. We had a cat. His name was Kiwi.
Okay.
He passed away before he turned 1.
Right.
He got sick, and then, you know, we got Ollie, and I said I wanted to spend more quality time with Ollie as a cat.
They're a part of the family.
I thought, how much better than training him to do what I do?
Did he have gloves?
No.
Right. Needs to make
be a good fit.
cat gloves.
Imagine that.
See, we've recreated his next video.
Yeah. So I think that might be one of my
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's interesting. And what people listening going, oh, but I could never do that. They definitely could. But what bit of advice would you give to people who are currently in the space, looking to evolve their creation and even build a personal brand online? What would you say?
That's a very difficult question because for everyone it's different. But I think if you're getting into content creation, it's like getting into anything new.
Yeah.
It's a skill you have to learn. And how do you learn a new skill? How do you learn to play the piano? You do it a lot. It's repetition, it's research, it's practice, and it's testing as well. So I told you this as well. If you want to create content, create as many videos as you can.
Yeah.
And try different types of stuff. Try a story type video, try different types of fonts, try different types of colors, try different captions, try different music. There's so many different things you can try, and eventually you'll find a bit of a formula where this video does well and this video doesn't do well, and then you'll find your way. And just show what you enjoy. If it's fitness, do fitness. If that doesn't do well, do something else. Try different things.
Yeah, that is interesting. And I was so fitness driven for such a long time, but now I'm starting to explore the mind more. Now I'm like, oh, I actually enjoy creating these videos and doing experiments on myself, like currently doing like hypnotic work on myself each day, things like that. And so interesting.
The world is so big, so there's guaranteed to be other people that are interested in that as well.
Yeah.
So why would you not create the content on it if you enjoy the process?
And don't obsess over numbers. Would that be one?
Oh, I've struggled with this. I still do.
I think a lot of people do.
Especially when, for example, the video with Ollie's done millions and millions of views, and then sometimes, even recently, I've posted a video and you put so much time and effort into the one video and it just flops. And it happens. It's the same as in any type of business or anything in the world. Sometimes, even at football, sometimes you prepare really well for a game and you don't get the result you want, but you have to push on to the next one.
Yeah.
You have to forget the game that's happened or forget the mistake you made and just keep going.
Learn from it, but evolve and move forward. Take that next step. And so what's next? Like you've gone through all this, that, like, as I said, the man behind the mask in his truest form. And I really appreciate how vulnerable you've been, even chatting, because people don't see that.
No.
Why should they? Some people don't deserve that time, but even just understanding that everybody is built through challenge, everyone's built through adversity. It's not the lucky ticket. And sometimes when people get the lucky ticket, what you deem to be lucky sometimes are the most unhappiest because they haven't experienced anything. But what's next? Where do you see yourself? Where's the next evolution? Obviously, life will unfold how it does, but if you could forecast, what do you want to go into next and where's it heading?
I don't like to look too far forward. I think especially coming out here to Dubai in the last few years, and mine and our family's life have been a bit all over the place.
Yeah.
So I find it difficult to think where we're going to be in the next 5 years. I just enjoy what I'm doing now. I love it, and I love my family. I love the environment we're in. So I'm just going to keep doing what I love. And at the moment, if I don't love it anymore, I'll find something else. But I do believe that I will be a content creator for the rest of my life because I just love it. And that's not necessarily, it might not be football, it might be something else. Let's say, for example, the video with Ollie.
Yeah.
It's a content piece, but it's football, but it's different.
It's very different.
You know, there's so many, when I was starting out making content, I was so based on football and goalkeeper stuff, and I still am quite a lot, but there's so many different types of content you can make, even around football or around being a goalkeeper. So yeah, I think I'll continue to create content. It's just what I love.
Yeah. Continue doing what you love and evolve along the way.
Maybe I don't know what I'm going to do with football. Is I going to continue playing for a team or
Alcabila specifically, which you've been this year.
Yeah.
We haven't really discussed on that, but that can be another conversation.
Yeah.
Professional football UAE.
Who knows?
That's definitely another conversation. But thank you very much. Honestly, we got to such a vulnerable and deep point that I want to leave it on one last note. If you could give any piece of advice for anyone listening out there, or even speak to your younger self, your 6, your 10-year-old self, what would be your best piece of advice that you've learned along your journey so far that you'd like to share with the world?
There's several things. I think the main thing being is, one of the big things being is not giving a fuck. I'm sorry to use the language, but it's a big thing, and it has been a big thing throughout my career. You have to stop thinking about what other people think and focus on yourself, and that's really given me a lot, because a lot of people define their life on what others think of them. And if you start to define your life on what you want it to be and what you think it should be, it's going to create a whole different environment for yourself.
Wow. Yeah,
so I love that.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. It's big. I think that'll resonate with a lot of people, and it's definitely easier said than done for sure.
Yeah.
But everybody who I've spoke with and come into contact with have gone through something that's made them work so deep on themselves that they become so sure of who they are that then they can evolve and move through life with confidence.
I think it's a skill as well. It's not something you do just overnight. It's something you develop as well.
100%. And even just to finish that, the uncommon philosophy, we focus on 3 pillars: awareness, what you don't know, what you aren't aware of, you'll never understand. Then action, you need to act straight away. When you're aware of something, you can change that and you can act. But then as you act along the way, then you analyze and align. So awareness, action, and alignment. And as you follow that uncommon philosophy, you can create what you are truly designed to do here in this world. And guys, thank you very much for watching. Thank you for being a fantastic guest.
Well, thank you.
It's been a fantastic chat. If you've got any questions, then please put them below. If you believe somebody will benefit from this conversation, or someone's going through similar things that we've discussed, please share, please comment. And we want to build this uncommon community, which at the bottom line is for you to live your life, not someone else's, not the one you were assigned, but the one by design.